This tutorial is going through the basic application of EndNote and talk about some of its functionality and goes through how to integrate EndNote with Microsoft Word. When you run the application, the EndNote initial window appears on your screen. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to start from scratch and create my own reference library. So I'm going to the File menu and choose New to create a new reference library. A dialog window appears asking you to type the file name of your library. In this case, you specify where you want to save it in your disk. So let's try to save it in our desktop folder. EndNote gives a default file name of my EndNote library, but you can change it to your desired file name. So let's say Insert References. Then we click on the Save button. EndNote initially creates a new library which does not contain any references. You can see the window is divided into 3 panes which are spread across the window. The first pane is the library pane, and that gives you access to filters, access to groups, and also access to other functionality. In the center pane is where your references will appear on the list, display in alternated white and gray lines so that you can easily see your references in the list. The rightmost side pane gives you additional information pertaining to the reference you currently selected at the moment. So the question is, how do we enter references into a database? There are 2 ways of doing it. One way is to enter them manually. So the manual way of creating a reference is useful in some scenarios, like, for example, you have a book on hand, or you want to cite a website. To add a new reference, you simply click the References tab, then choose New Reference, and that gives you a new reference window, which gives you the option of choosing what reference type you wish to enter by default. The default reference type is journal article, but you can choose other reference types by clicking the drop-down arrow. You can choose from many different reference types from the drop-down list box. So let's try to have our first entry. For the reference, we choose book. So we type the author, Terry Saldana. If listing multiple authors, make sure to hit enter for each name so each author gets its own line. So let's say another author, James Woods. For author as organization, place a comma at the end so that EndNote will keep the name in order. So let's type Philippine Association of Psychologists. Fill in the rest of the information, like the year, 2009, the title, the coding manual for qualitative researchers. So the place it was published, Thousand Oaks, California, and a publisher, Sage Publications Incorporated. Then close the windows by clicking the X button once you're done. Then click the Yes button. You can always edit the entry by simply double-clicking your reference. Make necessary corrections, and once again click the X button and save your changes. So let's try another manual entry. This time we use the New Reference button. And we want to cite an article from the internet. So we change now the reference type to electronic article. Usually the only difference of this type to a journal article is that we add the URL reference where you have found it. So let's type now. So the author are James Smith and Alexander Volkov. So the year is 1983. The title, In-Service Training. Does it make a difference? The publisher is Journal of Extension. And of course, the URL. So let's just copy paste the URL. Then we click the close and click the yes button to save the changes. So we have our new reference. So let us try to preview. So right now we have two references and we have created them using the manual method. So this may be fine if you want to enter one or two references of this kind. But if you want to add multiple sources in your research paper or you want to source from online database, this method is going to be tedious. This is the way some researchers are doing now. So a better way is to use EndNote for multiple citations to search online. In EndNote, you can see there are three library modes. So the first one is the local library that gives you the option to configure or organize your own library in your own computer. So you can create a group if you are working on several research or topics. So let's say you are working on topics like in-service trainings. So we click the group tab and choose create group and type the name of your group. So let's say inset. Press the enter key. We can also create a group by right-clicking the My Group, then Create Group. So this time, let's say Blended Learning. Then press the enter key. So the online search mode displays references based on the results of your online search. These references are not part of your local library, and to make these references part of it, you have to add those references in your library, which I will show later on. The last one is the integrated mode. So this combines the features of local and online modes. And this is the mode I preferred since I can see all available information immediately. Now for the sake of illustration, let's do some online searches. You can see in the online search some default database connections. But you can click more to look for other database websites where you can make your search. So you can scroll from the list. Some of them are free, but some database websites require membership, and that means you have to pay for the membership fee. So for now, let's try to cancel this window. So the most popular free database is the PubMed. So we will use this connection. The default search filter is by author's name, but you can change it and look for other information in the drop-down list box, like the title. So let us change the filter to title. Then let's go ahead and look for any articles that contain in-service training. Then press the enter key. The online search gives us too many records. So let us cancel this first and narrow down our search. So let's add another criteria. Let's say articles that were only published in the year 2020 and press the enter key. And that gives us these references. So I guess this is fine now. So we click the OK button now. To save these references in your local library, you can click any reference to select it. Then right click and choose Add References To, and choose where you want to save it in your local library. So let's move it to Inset Group. Now to check the saved copy in your library, you select Inset Group where you save it. and you will find that the reference is now saved in that location. Now, to save multiple references, let's go back first to PubMed, then choose the references you like to save in your local library by pressing the Ctrl key on your keyboard while clicking the references one at a time. So the easiest way to copy reference or references is dragging the selected references to your desired location. Let's say we want the selected items to add in the inset group. So we select any of the selected items and drag them all the way to the inset group. If you click one of the references, the details will be shown in the reference window, like the author, the year it was published, the title, down to other information, including the abstract. The Preview tab gives you the exact format of your reference as it will be inserted in your document. So right now we are using the APA 7th edition format. But you can easily switch the format of your reference from one style format to another automatically by simply clicking on the bibliographic output style and choosing your desired reference style. So let us select the Harvard style. So immediately you would notice that the reference format automatically adjusted to your preferred output style. So if your reference has an attached PDF file, it will display in the Attached PDF tab. In the Attached PDF file tab, you would notice that there are no PDFs attached to the reference. To find if there is an associated PDF in your references, we select all the references, then simply right-click and choose Find Full Text. Find Full Text. So the search will take a while. It will search online and look for the PDF version of the article. And once found, it automatically attaches to your reference where you can view or read. Now, how do we know if the reference has an attached PDF? So after finding the full text, a reference with an attached PDF is marked with a clip icon. And to open the PDF, you can simply right-click the PDF and open in Reference window. And that will open the file for you in a separate window. So you can go back and forth to read the PDF, and to go back, simply click the Close button. You can also import citation from other online sources like the Google Scholar.